Hello everybody and welcome to Let's Look at Mutant Storm Reloaded. This is a twin-stick shooter, just came out on Steam, and if you watch my videos regularly, very regularly, you'll probably notice that I've been covering a lot of twin-stick shooters over the past 6 months or so, and every single time I say I'm getting twin-stick shooter fatigue, and you know I'm really sick of the fact that there's all these twin-stick shooters coming out on Xbox, or on Steam right now, and well, this is one of them. Let's just put it that way. This is actually a port of an Xbox Live Indie Games title. So you know right away that it's got to be like the cream of the crop on Xbox Live Indie Games just to even warrant a Steam release. But that doesn't necessarily make it great. Let's start with our single-player game here, and there's two modes, Tally Mode and Adventure Mode. You know, there's only really superficial differences between them. Adventure Mode involves you going like between levels, whereas Tally Mode just requires you to try to hit certain score thresholds. Actually, I suppose it is different levels as well, but you're just trying to get, it's like more of a score attack mode. You're not just getting to the end of the level, you're trying to get the highest score possible. But I'm going to go with Adventure Mode here. In Adventure Mode, you know, it's kind of superficial because there's no real story or anything. The only difference is that you're just trying to get to the end of the level. We'll play as Orange Belt, and why not start on level 10? This should be fairly easy, so we can get kind of an idea of how the game actually works. So you can see pretty much your standard twin-stick shooter going on here. The cool thing about it is that unlike a lot of games, including like Geometry Wars or Waves that I covered recently, not that recent, that was probably like back in September or October. Maybe December, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. There's actually a changing level design, so not every level is like a circle or a hexagon or a square or rectangle or, you know, any other kind of geometric shapes that you could pull off the top of your head while recording a video like this. Every level, the architecture changes a little bit, and there's also different enemies on every level, so that is kind of unique. One thing I will say, though, is, wow, that is actually the first time I've died while playing this game, and I died because I just drove into something. Every time I play a twin-stick shooter and do a Let's Look At, I always end up in this position where I'm like trying to focus on the game while focusing on my commentary at the same time, and it rarely works. Wow, what did I do to myself there? Maybe this game is harder than I thought. Let's check it out. Every time I say let's check it out, I feel like Dr. Steve Brule. But anyway, that's, again, neither here nor there. Let's pick up this three-way. I've always wanted to do a three-way on video. This will actually allow us to just shoot a little bit more. It, like, tridentizes our shots. Turns them into a triple shot, if you will. Now, we're going to murder these things. Now, what I was going to say before I started that death parade is that this may be personal preference, but I find this to be one of the most visually unappealing twin-stick shooters I've played in a long, long time. It kind of has this old, almost N64 or PS1 style aesthetic. Everything's pretty blocky and colorful, and I kind of don't like that. I really like the, for all of the twin-stick shooters that I've covered recently, and as disparaging as I've been to a lot of them, I thought one of the things that I talked about that I really liked in most of them is actually the aesthetics. Like, I thought Waves looked really good. Really Big Sky, I thought, had great aesthetics. Mutant Storm Reloaded, I don't think looks... I was so stupid. I lost all 3 lives. I don't think looks particularly good. Man, it looks like a ring that you would get out of a vending machine or something. Let's start that again at level 10. I don't know why, it kind of reminds me of the way it looks, and this is coming up a lot lately, but of EYE, Divine Cybermancy. It's got that, like, early 2000s, late 90s aesthetic that is like, hey, this is what the future's gonna look like, and then it doesn't. In fact, the future looks a lot better than this. And by future, I mean now, of course. But anyway, that's personal preference, but also I do feel that this game looks pretty poor, and also musically, there is absolutely nothing to speak of. And another thing that I talk about a lot in these twin-stick shooters, even if I can't find much to like about the gameplay, is that the music is usually really appealing and really interesting, and it kind of puts you in that flow state, which is so important when you're playing a twin-stick shooter to be in. And unfortunately, this one just kind of has ambient noise, which, you know, I guess works for some people, but definitely does not work for me, at least in this particular kind of game. That being said, this game does look a lot better after I adjusted the settings. Like, when I first started, I think the default resolution was like 640 by 480, and it looked horrible blown up on my monitor. But now it actually looks serviceable, at least. At first I was like, this looks like a Super Nintendo game. But anyway, when it comes to a twin-stick shooter, it's all about the gameplay. And I don't really have a lot to say about the gameplay in this one. It's your standard twin-stick shooter. Like, if you played Geometry Wars, you know what you're getting into here. There are very slight differences, like you can pick up various weapon power-ups, so it is similar, I guess, to like a Waves, or even a Really Big Sky in that sense. But Really Big Sky was cool because it had the ability, well, it was kind of like it went left to right, so it was a twin-stick shooter, but it was also kind of like a space shooter, like a Gradius or an R-Type. Whereas this is very much like your classic twin-stick shooter. And you can see now that I'm starting to get in a groove and I'm not so much trying to think about my gameplay and commentary at the same time. Things have been fairly easy. Like, that was really an anomaly when I died those times. But we'll keep this up for a little bit, just to see if anything really changes. So far, I really don't have a lot here that would make me recommend this game. Not to say that it's a bad game in particular, like, let's look at it, Bumbledore. I don't think Bumbledore is a good game for PC. Again, maybe on mobile markets it's okay, but for PC I don't think it's very good. Mutant Storm Reloaded I certainly don't think is a bad game to that extent, but I certainly don't see why, if you're only going to buy like one twin-stick shooter, you would want to buy this one when there's a lot of them out there that are a lot better than this. For example, you could pick up Waves, which was a game that I didn't really like, but I like it more than this. Or you could pick up a game like Really Big Sky, which I thought was relatively cool. Or how about a twin-stick shooter like The Binding of Isaac, although I'm sure most of you watching this probably already have this. Also, some of these enemies creep me out. Remind me a little bit of my own, you know, reproductive system. Maybe that's kind of the vibe that they're trying to get across. But it all gives me like an unsettling kind of like Lawnmower Man style vibe. And if you think I'm talking about Lawnmower Man from the Happy Wheels Let's Play, you should probably use Wikipedia. Anyway, I don't want to talk about Lawnmower Man anymore until I do a Let's Hate of Lawnmower Man on the Super Nintendo. We're talking about Mutant Storm Reloaded here, and really, what you see is what you get here. I can't remember how much this costs, but I don't think it's more than $5. And, you know, that seems to be the right price. If you're a fan of twin-stick shooters, a die-hard fan of twin-stick shooters, you might find this to be up your alley, but, I mean, how long have you been playing here? Maybe 12 minutes? Maybe actually probably less, maybe like 8 minutes, and I've already run out of stuff to say. The only thing that's kind of cool about this that other games don't necessarily do is they throw in cool kind of boss fights in the middle of these levels, which is what you can see right now. And those are actually fairly difficult a lot of the time, so that's kind of a neat touch, but again, by and large, I find this game pretty easy, despite those deaths that I had earlier. And not all that engaging, to be honest with you. I mean, with a twin-stick shooter like this, one where you've really seen what it's done before, it really needs to wow you, I feel, with the aesthetics. And that's what most twin-stick shooters go for. Geometry Wars, Waves, Really Big Sky. I'm sorry to harp on those three. But, you know, even Voxeltron. Did I kill that thing already? That was crazy fast. Even Voxeltron. Are games that kind of try to say, like, okay, we don't do anything really that unique with the gameplay, but check out our aesthetic. It's really cool, and, you know, for $5, maybe you want to spend a couple hours in this world that we created. With Mutant Storm Reloaded, I hate to say it, but the only reason I'm playing this is because I sort of feel obligated to make a video on this. If not, you know, just to put something up on YouTube, then to at least warn people that maybe this isn't the greatest game to pick up. Although I do believe there is a demo on Steam, so you could probably figure that out for yourself. I say we play one more level, and then maybe we take a look at the tally mode, so you guys realize that I'm not indeed talking out of my ass, and like just, you know, trying to, I don't know, not do due diligence when it comes to the game modes, and you'll see that everything is indeed fairly similar. But I will say that if I had played this title on Xbox Live, I would probably be thrilled with its quality, because it would be a gem among essentially turds. Whereas on Steam, you know, this is a mediocre game that's surrounded by games that are, you know, fairly good for the most part. So we're gonna go back to our main menu here, and we will go to tally mode. Play that. Let's mix it up. Let's go up to, what's this? Blue belt, and we'll try to get our score attack on level 1. And you have to hit a certain threshold to unlock the next level. So this is not so much about just surviving. This is about racking up the highest score possible. And admittedly, I'm kind of unsure of how the combo system works. Which is kind of core for any twin-stick shooter. In my defense, there was absolutely no tutorial mode whatsoever. Wow, that was difficult, right? Alright, room 1 is completed. We're gonna have to up the difficulty here. Go quit back to main menu. Let's go check out, maybe, what the heck? Let's go to black belt. And we'll try that out and see how well we can do. Again, I just can't shake the fact that this game looks and sounds incredibly ugly to me, and that's kind of inexcusable when your gameplay is as similar to other twin-stick shooters as you, yeah, I guess, would expect. So let's murder these guys. I have a feeling this level's going to be over relatively quickly as well. So you can see I'm playing this on the hardest difficulty setting, and that was a no-brainer. We'll play another level just to make sure that that's not an anomaly, but I'm really disappointed with the way, yeah, I get it, that this has gone so far. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe you're not score attacking. Maybe you're trying to, you're just trying to beat the level. But that would make it exactly the same as the adventure mode, which would be kind of misleading. but it looks like they're not spawning any more enemies. Alright, completed room 2. Tommy Wiseau, are you listening? We all want it. Alright, I'm gonna quit back to main menu. And you know, that's pretty much it for Mutant Storm Reloaded, I'm disappointed to say. A port from Xbox Live Indie Games, and it shows. There is also 2-player games. Adventure and Tally Mode, I bet you can probably guess what those are. Achievements, options, credits, not really interested. Again, I hate ragging on a game that was probably made by like one dude. Because I can understand this guy's just trying to make rent, right? I've been there. But it would be disingenuous of me to recommend this game. I really don't think for the price, it's even under $5. I don't think that this is a game that a lot of people are going to enjoy spending a lot of time with. Like, don't forget about your money. You can get more money, you can't get more time. And I feel like there are other twin-stick shooters, even if you're a fan of the genre, that you would find yourself having a much more worthwhile time with, if that makes sense. I hope it does. Certainly not a horrible game, like it's not unplayable, but it is mediocre, and, you know, swimming in a sea of other twin-stick shooters, even on the PC, it's difficult to recommend this over something else like a Waves, or a Geometry Wars, or a Beat Hazard, what have you. Or Really Big Sky as well. As always, thank you guys for watching, and hopefully I'll be able to cover an excellent game soon, but I'll see you next time.